All right, welcome back. Now let's go over some definitions here that we're going to want to know. So we talked about linear cost. So linear cost is always going to have this form. So again, y equals mx plus b, but we use c of x, right? Function notation. So the cost of x, right? So x widgets. So if we want to manufacture, produce x widgets, the cost function would look like this. Now revenue, which is the amount of money coming in, right? So cost is the cost of producing something, right? Whether it's like, if we're talking about widgets, there might be, remember, a fixed cost versus variable cost, right? So the fixed cost would be something like rent, lease, right? Leasing the building or the office location, right? So you pay a lease, so that's a fixed cost, right? Electricity, gas, internet, telephone, those would also be considered fixed costs that you would pay every single month, right? So variable costs would be, let's say, the cost of producing a widget. So if maybe the cost of the materials that go into building or manufacturing a widget, right? Or the number of employees, right? The salaries, payroll, right? That's dependent on the number of people you employ. So if you're making more widgets, you might need more people to make those widgets to keep up with demand, right? So again, those are all part of maybe the variable costs. So this would be the variable cost plus the fixed cost, right? Now, what about revenue? Revenue is based on the amount of widgets that you produce and sell, right? So when you sell a widget, you make income, right? That's revenue, money coming in versus money going out. Cost is money going out, your expenses, and then the revenue is money coming in, right? So the revenue is just based on the number of widgets you sell, right? So that would just be the price, P, times the number of widgets that you produce and sell. And so a lot of these cases, we're going to assume that we're selling 100% of whatever widgets we produce, right? But that's not always the case. That's normally not the case. So we usually have supply. Anyway, so we have price and times the number of widgets, right? So that's going to be our revenue. And then the profit is the difference between revenue and cost. So it's just a subtraction. So our profit function is just going to be the subtraction of both of our revenue function and our cost function. So it's revenue minus cost, right? So obviously, if cost is bigger than our revenue, then we're going to get negative profit, which we don't want, right? So we always, obviously we want our revenue to be bigger than our cost, so we get our profit is positive, okay? But these are the formulas you want to know. We'll do an example or two of how to use this.